Mr. Floor Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Please recognize Representative Fetgatter to explain Senate Bill 1200.
Clerk will read.
Senate Bill 1200 by McCall of the House and Stevens of the Senate, an act relating to daylight savings time.
Representative Fetgatter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I believe there's an amendment on the bill.
Clerk will read.
Madam Speaker, I move to amend Senate Bill 1200 by striking the title, the enacting clause, the entire bill, and by inserting in lieu thereof the following language: amendment submitted by Wes Kevin.
Members, there's an amendment. Representative West, I understand we're to go to you to explain the amendment. You're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, the amendment would change this from going to daylight saving time year-round to going to standard time. And the reason for that is within the versions of the bill, the original version of the bill says if federal law is passed that authorizes, so we cannot go to standard time year-round without federal intervention. The amendment says by authority of the Uniform Time Act, we can go to standard time. I yield to questions and move for adoption.
Representative Fetgatter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Move to table the amendment by West.
That is a proper motion. All those in favor say aye. Clerk will activate the machine for a division. We are going to suspend. Clerk will activate the machine for division.
I don't want to hear it later. No. The ransom note? I'm not.
Declare the vote.
42 aye, 32 nay.
The ayes have it. Are there further questions on the bill? We have questions. Representative Bennett, you're recognized for a question on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative, let's demonstrate that two adult men can talk in inside voices with each other, all right?
I will work on it.
You and me both, brother, all day, every day. Can you tell me if this is going to lock in sunnier sooner or lighter later?
Well, first of all, this is a trigger would require Congress to act in order for us to lighter later.
I hope there's a follow-up. You're recognized.
Sure as the sun comes up, there is. You know what I mean? Man, I hate myself right now on this one. Sorry. So
Was that your question?
no, it wasn't.
Okay,
Wasn't even a
okay.
question.
You're recognized.
It's a fact. So that's how I try to remember, because I get so confused about savings time versus. So at this point, of all times for you to say that. So at this point, this is a trigger that if the Congress acts, I'm not holding my breath, that we would then lock in standard time, which is that we would lock in date, which is lighter later. And that's what this is doing.
That would be correct. Yay. Great job. Give him a star on his homework.
Was that a mic drop I saw? Okay. Representative Waldron, do you have a follow-up to that question? He waves. Representative West Kevin, you're recognized for a question.
Representative, when would the sun come up in the winter if we're on daylight saving time year-round?
Well, the sun would come up at different times throughout the entire winter season. I did, I'm sorry.
Follow-up?
Would you believe that with the forward 1 hour, it would be 8:30 to 8:45 before the sun comes up here in Oklahoma?
Thank you for the question. I wouldn't actually agree that 8:45. However, it obviously is going to be somewhere in the 8 o'clock hour. But I would also agree, as a hunter, I know that it is daylight enough to see 30 minutes prior to sunrise. Therefore, somewhere in the 7 o'clock hour, you're going to have enough daylight to be able to see in the winter months.
Follow-up?
And Representative, are you aware that we have gone to daylight saving time year-round in the U.S. before, and that Oklahoma was one of the many states that petitioned the federal government to bring an end to that because of the hardship that it caused on Oklahomans?
I am aware of that, that we have gone to that in the past. However, I would also mention that 2/3 of our year is currently daylight savings time and not standard time. 2/3, 2 for every one, is daylight saving times currently, so I don't know why it's a problem.
Follow-up?
Would you believe that the problem is in the winter months, and the resolution that Oklahoma passed along with several other states demanding that the feds end that back in 1974 was because children were standing at bus stops in the dark, going to school in the dark, and several kids wound up getting hit by cars?
Thank you for the statement. Would you believe that in New York, Oklahoma, where I currently live, our children stand in the dark for the school bus right now because it's out in the rural areas, and we already do that. As well as a child myself, I walk to school in the dark at different times during the year, and I caught the bus as well. I walked uphill both ways in the snow as well.
For one more follow-up.
Barefoot.
I too walked uphill both ways in the snow to school. But back on the resolution back in 1974, the petition to the federal government was to either end daylight saving time or allow Oklahoma to join mountain time, because, as you're probably aware, Oklahoma is on the far western end of our time zone, so those late daylight mornings were what the problem was.
Thank you for the question and the statement. But while that was back whenever you said it was, in 2018, our very own Senator Langford actually ran the resolution in Congress called the Sunshine Protection Act of 2018, which is much closer to our time frame that we're in.
Representative Deck, you're recognized. He waives. Representative Bennett, is he on the floor? He waives also. Representative Kendrix, you're recognized.
Thank you for bringing this bill, Representative. Would you believe, are you aware of a title that I currently hold here in the chamber floor?
Oh, yeah. Sultan of Sunsets.
Was that a follow-up or an acknowledgement? It's a follow-up. Okay, you're recognized.
Thank you. What I was going to share is, as the designated Sultan of Sunsets, and as a working man, often I don't get out early enough in the evening to enjoy those sunsets without it being daylight savings time. Would you agree with that?
I would agree that that is a fair assessment. Mr. Sultan.
Representative Hardin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative, let me get my glasses on here. Is it true that American Farmers and Ranch, Oklahoma Automobile Dealers, OML, the Municipal League, and the Restaurant Association, are they endorsing this bill?
I think the question, not only are they endorsing the bill, but so are over 80% of your constituents.
Representative West Kevin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative, you mentioned the Sunshine Protection Act, which is currently the only piece of legislation that is moving at the federal level that would deal with this. Are you aware that if that were to pass, it would automatically put us on daylight saving time and states would have to opt out if they did not want to participate?
Yeah, I think for the statement, yes, I would be aware, but we would be one of 20 states at this time if we passed the bill today and it's signed into law that would be putting pressure on Congress to get that done.
Follow up.
And at this point, has Congress approved any of those petitions?
Obviously not, or we would be on daylight savings time currently.
Representative Fetgatter now moves that Senate Bill 1200 be advanced from general order without objection. That will be the order. Third reading of the bill.
Senate Bill 1200 by McCall of the House and Stevens of the Senate, an act relating to daylight savings time.
Representative Fetgatter now moves final passage of the bill. Will there be debate? Seeing no debate, the question before the House is, shall the bill pass? Clerk, please activate the machine, and sergeants, please announce roll call. Leader Eccles votes aye. Representative Lowe Dick votes aye. Representative Hayes votes aye. Representative Hill votes aye. Representative Osborne votes aye. Members, the chair is preparing to close. Declare the vote.
67 aye, 29 nay.
Having received a majority of votes elected to and constituting the House, I declare the bill to have passed. Mr. Floor, leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.